again, and I'll share my screen. And can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so I was talking about how to take two different shapes and then combine those. So let's try out the star tool this time. And again, I can make more star points by clicking on the well, up arrow, and less star points with clicking the down arrow, but I try to keep the shape simple again. So let's keep it to this kind of star. And then while I'm pushing the control button while creating the star, I can also change its shape. Okay, I'll keep it at this. And by the way, once I have created the star, and if I click on the star once, it will open me this window where I can still change the inner radius and outer radius, and also how many points it has. But I'll keep it. Okay, and I see it did. It made a copy. Interesting. Anyway, what I want to do now is to have a star shape with some fill, but with no outline. So I'll do those. Okay, and we have two stars. And now, if I want to change the star a little bit while I'm at it, I could click here. And so what I did was I took the direct selection tool, the white arrow, while the star was selected, or well, I could just select the star, and then I get these corner point tools where I can change the whole look of the star into something softer, maybe. And let's see what I could do with maybe the star and the rectangle. I haven't tried that yet. Let's make a square. And maybe if I combine these two shapes with each other, what do I get? Do I get something interesting or not? Yeah, as you can probably notice, I'm somehow in a symmetrical mood now. Don't know why. Often I'm not, but today I am. Okay, after some rotation, that could be a logo, maybe. Okay, let's try to combine the rectangle together with the star. And I'll use the eye tool to make them the same color. the eyedropper, I mean, I can get it by clicking I on the keyboard. That's why I called it the I tool. The reason for that. Okay, so this is quite a visual thing that I just look at the shapes that are coming out from combining these two shapes, and also seeing to it that there is not too much stuff happening. Then there's of course the intersecting shapes possibility. So where I could again give this a stroke. And try out what kinds of shapes happen when I move the star inside the rectangle or the other way around. Could this be a logo that happens inside here? It might. Yeah, that's actually not a bad shape here. So I'm trying to look for the negative shapes. This negative shape over here is also not bad. So there's a lot that could be done with this one. And both of these shapes are not too complicated. And that's quite important when you think about logo design. Keep it simple. The KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay, so another way of doing these things, of making a logo, is taking a shape that already exists. So I'll make a new layer for that. So of course, you could argue that, of course, a square or a circle, they are also shapes that already exist. Plato argued a lot about that, but I'm not going into his cave. I'm not so fond of Plato's cave, but anyway, what I mean by pre-existing shapes is, for instance, symbols and letters, stuff like that. Or you could use, for instance, ideograms, ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, for instance, or maybe Chinese ideograms and logograms. Like, for instance, there's the Chinese sign that means person, which is, okay, where did that come from? Okay, just person, which is like this. I used that shape once in order to make a logo. I just made 3 of these and then put them in different grayscale shades and also different colors and sizes, and then it became this logo for this project. And yeah, what I also added was an ellipse here, so it became like a person I think in Mandarin Chinese, the word is ren for person, but that doesn't matter here. So if you want to say in Chinese, I am one person, or I am a single person, you say, 我是一个人. But again, that's a side road that don't want to take now. Okay, so let's go and do some text or numbers. Okay, so say any number between 0 and 9.
7.
3.
7 was first. Let's take the 7. Or I could take also the 3 for argument's sake. 3. Okay, both are good numbers and good shapes, I mean. Okay, so first of all, I need to change the size. Let's change it to something really big, 120. Yeah. Then let's change it away from the Myriad Pro to something else. Okay, let's try Minion. And also for the 7, I want to make some changes. Also maybe the 120 points, yeah. Okay, Bahnschrift. Let's keep the minion now. For now. Okay, the thing is to make these numbers so that we don't see them as numbers anymore. That's actually the difficulty with using symbols that everybody knows, that you have to make them unsee them as the things that they represent. So make them abstract in your own mind when you're making a logo out of them. Numbers, letters, yeah, all of those. Or if you have a picture of a mouth or an eye, you have to make it abstract. Okay, so let's first make this into outlines. So I don't want this to be editable. I want as a number. I want the actual anchor points there. So create outlines. There we go. And now if I click on the white arrow, the direct selection tool, you can see that there it is. Now it's made of vector shapes that I can actually manipulate. And I'll do the same thing for the number 3. Create outlines. There we go. So first of all, I could manipulate it, my number, by just changing manipulating it very simply like this by dragging, or I could use the reflect tool to put it differently. Okay, now to my eyes, it's starting to look more abstract. I'm not thinking of a 7 right away when I'm seeing this. So I might want to make a copy of it.
How did you reflect it again? How did you reflect it?
Oh, I used the reflection tool.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, and I'll do a second reflection. And by clicking Shift, I can get the reflection to stay in 45 degrees sections. Okay, and so this is actually looking like an M now, to be more precise. So I could start moving this in different ways and looking for, again, for these interesting shapes. So sometimes symmetry is our friend, sometimes it's our enemy. So this could work out as a logo, and also I can't see the 7 right away, but if somebody tells me that the company name is 77 something street, then I might see the 7 there, which would take a little bit of thinking, but that is, again, would include the joy of discovery, which is good in a logo. So don't think that the people who are looking at your logo are stupid. Make way to their thinking and their ways of discovery. Or I could make this a little bit like this, break the symmetry a little bit. Yeah, that might work as well. There's something that wants to fly up, maybe, with this logo. So I think you can understand the point, and no, I don't want any sticky stuff. So play with the shapes, either in Illustrator or on paper. Paper is also great in many ways. So this is starting to look like some sort of Indian letter now, or maybe Arabic. Okay, so I think you get the point here. It's easy to just get lost and in the playing around with the shapes and having fun with them. Okay, so let's go into the last bit of this lecture, and I'll make one more layer. And okay, let's see. You can also of course, simplify an image or illustration and make it into a logo. And okay, I see I don't have my Wacom tablet here, so I'll just go get it. Everything has been made for right-handed people. So earlier, while thinking about this and planning this lecture, I made some illustrations, or actually outlines, of a cat in my sketchbook by hand. But now I'm going to do some sketching here. So first of all, I've had a cat at some point, so I know what a cat looks like. And if I didn't, I would go and see some pictures of cats, or maybe some videos of cats, and then draw from those. Okay, let's see. It's a basic 3-point over brush, and it's fixed. So okay, let's have a little bit of pressure there, pressure variation. Now that I have the tablet, okay, and I'll use some light blue for the stroke. Let's try it out. For some reason, it looks a little bit jagged. Let's see the options. Okay, the fidelity is quite accurate, doesn't smooth too much. Also, I don't want to have my strokes kept selected, so I always unclick this, keep selected. So I got the options by double clicking on the paintbrush. Could be that the pencil is actually better for this job, but let's try out the paintbrush first. Okay, so I try to think about the cat shape, how it is like at its most iconic, so that you could see right away that it's a cat. And this is just like the first sketch. So and what are the important things with a cat? So I made this cat silhouette. And from that, I started to think about the bigger shapes and how to make them more, well, how to simplify them. So this is what I'm trying to reconstruct what I did in my sketchbook. So I took the line of action here from the back of the cat, the line of the sitting, which is always often also the line of action is the line of the spine, I've noticed, but not always. So also there's the line of the chest, which is important for the cat. And I get another line of action right here. And the tail is important. So that's already simplifying it a little bit. And it's quite big now, so maybe I should go for smaller in order to simplify it even more. Maybe this way. Okay, that's a line I don't want. Also, I could just take the eraser and erase this part here. Okay, what if I try to make this with lines that are straight? How would it go then? Maybe like this. There's the tail. Looks a little too much like these Chinese puzzles. So I think I like these lines more. Can I go even more into the abstract direction? They did this in a great way with the Egyptian hieroglyphics, how they changed into totally abstract signs in the hieratic and demographic, oh, what were the names of those scripts, cursive scripts that they had. Okay, so I'm trying to simplify even more and also go smaller. And from these, I could then start using the actual pen tool or just using the ellipse tool. Okay, so maybe I'm ready to use those. And by the way, there's also something called the curvature tool, which is kind of like the pen tool, but it will give, well, I'll just show how it works. It works like this, so that it gives you nicely curved lines directly. So there's something that is called the line of beauty. So that's what this tool tries to give you automatically. Oop. I'm not a great fan of this tool myself, but maybe you can find use for it. But also you can try out the alt clicking in order to get well, sharper corner points, and you can get out by either closing your path or clicking ESC. Okay, so I'm obviously not happy with that one. So now I would need, if I wanted to go manipulating this one, I would go to having the direct selection tool and then moving the points by hand and looking for the best ways to handle the handles. So this is not nearly what I wanted, so probably I would not use this. Also, I will not use these brush strokes that I made, but because they were only the sketches, but use, like I said, either the pen tool or the curvature tool to get my my shape. All right, now we have time to look at the day task, because that's the program for the afternoon that I'm giving you a day task, and then we'll meet around, well, probably 2:15, and then look what you have done. Okay, I should stop sharing now. Right, did you get an answer for the smart guides?